Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Who's ready for it? A big-time match with big-time implications. You could call it the semifinal, but really what it should say up there is third place match. A lot of money on the line. Both these squads fell in their semifinal matches, but here they are playing for third place at the No Tilt Worlds. Hello and welcome. Good morning if you're where I am in the US. Good afternoon if you're somewhere in Europe. And good middle of the night if you're somewhere even further east from me than Europe. This is the No Tilt Worlds, and I'm ReicherT from Clash Royale League, here to break down the third place match between two powerhouse teams, both that had very, very good chances at that world final, and of course seemed like maybe they were both shoe-ins for the world final from the very beginning all the way until yesterday's semi-final contest. Instead, both stumble right before the finish line and find themselves here in our third place match. What have you been doing here for the No Tilt Worlds? Well, we began with a big-time group stage, 8 groups of 4 teams in a round-robin format, and the top 2 from each group moved on to the next stage. That was back in March. But guess what? We're in April, folks. April's a different month than March. Are you aware of that? Yes, it is. We were onto the playoff format. Top 16 in a single elimination bracket, all the way up to, oh wait, is it April 25th right now? Oh my gosh, it is April 25th. Here we are on the final day for the third place and fourth place match. And as I said yesterday, both of these teams, two teams that were really thought to be potential all the way up to the end, falling short in their semifinal. South Korea dropping to the French squad, and then the Germans falling to Egypt. So here we are again. If you've not been following along the action, the format here begins with a 1v1 dual mode battle, meaning cards cannot repeat game by game, then a regular best of 3, then on to King of the Hill, and then again dual mode, and then that final 1v1. Now here we go. Like you said, or like I said, this is the third place match, so while the championship no longer on the line, quite a bit of money here. Fourth place walks away with $27.50, whereas third place, $42.50, $4,250 US dollars for the third place winner. So a significant difference in prize pool between these two teams. You imagine they'll be going pretty hard at each other, and of course both squads wanting to make up for falling just short of that one yesterday in this very, very fun international event, which I had hoped to be able to cast more of. I've been very, very busy these last few weeks, but some pretty cool stuff coming up for you guys overall. But I am here today for this third place match. Will not be with you for that championship. I am unfortunately unavailable at 12 noon our time, my time here, but it will be an excellent match, of course, as it has been all the way through. And coming up right now, a very amazing match. Really a match that could have been, some say should have been, the overall final. The two most stacked teams in the league in this overall competition going head-to-head here. That's South Korea and Germany. On the South Korean side, look at this lineup, right? And we'll be showing lineup graphics here in just a minute, but I don't even want to wait to talk about it. JupiterKing, Sandbox, who just came off of his first push into a CRL weekend, taking second place. Line, Geralt, and Expo Master. That's an amazing lineup from South Korea, showcasing both the old school South Korea in Expo Master all the way to the newest players. And think about that, right? Not only do you have Expo Master, longtime favorite of the game overall, but you also have tons of players with great CRL experience, including Line, the no-tilt World Championship winner from 2020, and then Sandbox, who's on a tear right now, and then JupiterKing, who was thought to be a Rookie of the Year candidate in 2020. And then on the German side, what an insanely stacked roster there as well, right? You have some of the one of the best scenes overall in Clash Royale that's produced some very, very talented semi-pro players, and there's one look you have at the South Korean squad. Blizzard, aka the former Dandelion, right? Isn't that who that is? Blizzard? Didn't Dandelion become Blizzard, working as the team coach? I did forget to mention TNT on that lineup, but not in the lineup today, I believe. But TNT on the South Korean roster as well. What an absolutely stacked roster for South Korea. Really, really powerful, and one that people really believe probably should have gone all the way here. Of course, falling to a bit of an upstart France squad with some really, really good players in that team, of course. But man, South Korea, here we are in the third place match over on the other side of things. And what a team this is as well. You know, you talk about the quality of gameplay here. And Germany, it's interesting. A lot of these players here probably have the skill set, or maybe are just shy of the skill set of making CRL squads in the past. Schwarzen, of course, did end up doing it, but led by the great Morten for Germany. But the rest of this squad, really, really, really talented. You know, standout players, of course, Faust and ReicherT right lately. We'll see how they show up today. Wolfstochter, of course, in the lineup today as well. We'll get into that as we go later in today's broadcast. Let's take a look at some of the chat here as we're waiting for our next, our only game of today's stream to start. And let's see. DRS, I wish some other top ladder players were involved. Lots of good players, but I guess they only play one deck. So, well, I guess it depends on what you mean, DRS, because a lot of the top ladder players are here, right? If you take a look at the players who are in right now, right? Morten, obviously a very talented ladder player. Viper with the French squad, a recent #1 finisher on ladder. He'll be in the final later today. Mohamed Light, obviously. Capgun. You'll be seeing those later today in the championship. But right now, we are going into our first game, or our first set of this third place match between South Korea and Germany. This is dual mode. You cannot repeat cards from game to game. Schwarzen, the player here in dual mode for Germany, and JupiterKing for South Korea. Finals will be later today, so make sure you tune in again when we bring you the finals. So Schwarzen looking so far like it might be some variation of Hog EQ. We'll see. Trifecta potentially here. JupiterKing showing maybe Electro Giant in the opening moments. Thank you, Mikey, for your super chat donation there in the YouTube side. $7 Canadian. We'll go to burritos as always. And it's Mortar Miner here for Schwarzen. A few players have been playing this in their latter pushes here, their early season pushes, or I guess late season, not quite end of season, but late season pushes that are starting. I believe I saw Samuel Basoto is playing this one right now. I could be wrong. And JupiterKing with that new 2 Elixir Bomber. We'll see when he chooses to drop the Electro Giant, coming up here to 10 at the moment, and decides to go Dark Prince in the back. Just defensive setup on both sides right now. First 90 seconds away. Slight lead for the German here, 23-90. Schwarzen, long time talented semi-pro, was the best non-CRL player in Germany for quite a while. Was rumored to be connected to many teams, including some rumors at one time that he might be replacing Sergio Ramos on SK Gaming as they went into the end of 2020. As a German, would have been a good fit for the German squad, obviously. Instead, ended up with Misfits. And here we go, Electro Giant down now for JupiterKing. Brawler way ahead, though, and that Musketeer going to take care of that pretty easily and stay on the board. Miner in for Schwarzen. Decent poison value here, plus the mortar to help out with that Dark Prince, but that's going to be a lot coming downhill. And not running, there we go. NATO pulls all of that in. Electro Giant won't get a ton of damage on tower, but even look at this. Even just making it that far is so damaging. Miner goes to the back, wall breakers up front. Dark Prince does turn around, forces the bomber out on the other side here. Or not wall breakers, sorry, skeletons. I'm so used to Miner and wall breakers being together. I saw the skeletons. My brain went wall breakers, but it's just Miner mortar. Out to the number 1 spot here. Schwarzen starting to vary up his placement pretty nicely. Has gone to the back, now went to the number 1 space. NATO pulls all of that back. And that lightning is so devastating. You have a Musketeer in your hand. And that's one thing. Musketeer's seen a bit of a... It's kind of had a reprieve from the lightning for a while. And then the last couple of metas, the lightning has begun to creep back and back and back, and now lightning is in full force. Poison down. Mortar goes to the Brawler, not to the tower, but that tower will get down to just around 1,000 HP. Mortar slows things down for a moment. Delivery does come in. And that's an ill-timed situation for Schwarzen. Lightning gets the recruit off the board as the timing with the shield and lightning absolutely imperfect, if you will. And now NATO to King Tower for JupiterKing. This time, look at the spread. Look at that distance being put down by Schwarzen. Really wants to make sure that lightning's not getting too many targets at once. And this time does keep the Electro Giant off the tower. 640 to 642, 2 HP separating these two players. Miner goes to the back with poison. NATO to King Tower is the right move here from Jupiter as he tries to set up and get back around, but he's going to have to face at least one more Miner. Schwarzen might go ahead and just put Miner maybe to the inside here. There he goes. Miner does go down. Miner goes to the safe spot. Not to the inside, but to the outside. But that's going to be a whole lot of trouble here, and that's going to be Schwarzen taking this first game off of JupiterKing. Very well played by the German. GG. And kept that pressure on there at the end to the perfect amount to go ahead and pull out that win. Nice work here. JupiterKing going to have to go back to the drawing board after a game number 1 loss with Electro Giant. You almost tick off Electro Giant as a free win when you put it into your lineup for your 3 decks. It's a bit of a shocker here for the young player out of South Korea. Yet another competition for JupiterKing where the expectations are sky high and the results fall just short. Happened with Tribe Gaming not once but twice in both the spring and the fall of 2020. And then now here, South Korea. Really was, in many people's cards, the favorite to win this entire competition. And you understand why with the power of their roster. But they ran into a nasty, nasty matchup yesterday against France. And the come-from-behind win by the French squad with Hugo and Viper, winning the 4th and 5th set. Dashed the hopes and dreams of this South Korean team. So here we go, double bait now for JupiterKing, going from as heavy as can be and super beatdown all the way to very fast. And can they use Mother Witch? Ask Neurotic Q, but take a look at that. Boom. Mother Witch on the board right now. No protection. Oh, there we go. Skarmy does come out last second for the Princess. And what an opportune time to use a Skarmy when you're up against Mother Witch going the opposite lane when she's already committed. And that is going to get JupiterKing the lead here, but between the Bar Barrel and the Mother Witch, if JupiterKing can't outcycle early, this is going to be a bit of a challenge. He's definitely the one to try to outcycle as early as he can here and get some good damage in. And right now he's doing the job, but that Mother Witch going to be real annoying to deal with. Good placement here by Jupiter and a great bandit by Schwarzen. What a great play there by the German. Dart Goblin to go and try to snipe that Mother Witch, bandit out perfectly. Doesn't just kill that, but also turns it into a pig as well. Heal Spirit tries to get in, add a little bit more here for Schwarzen, but what a great way to take back the lead here for Germany. The finals will be France versus Egypt. France carried over the finish line against South Korea with a come-from-behind win, down 2-1. And then Hugo and Viper, recent #1 finisher Viper on ladder, taking things over for France, sending them to the final on the other side of it. Egypt put the hurt on Germany. A big part of that, the performance, of course, of Mohamed Light, who is arguably the #1 player in the world right now, certainly in that conversation. Safe, though, with a nice 3-0 King of the Hill sweep in those semifinals yesterday over the Germans. Double bait push to the left-hand side. Schwarzen with a good read there on the outside barrel. A good fireball value. There's going to be a lot of pressure on the right-hand side. Not sure how Jupiter holds up against it. Another Witch right into a Skarmy. Oh boy. Oh boy, that's going to be a lot of pigs. E-bars behind. Schwarzen going all downhill here. Just running full speed towards JupiterKing. And that's going to be a GG. That's going to be a well played. That's going to be a whole lot of piggies on tower. Easy 2-0 here for the young German over one-time South Korea's rookie hopes, JupiterKing. And that was just a brutal, brutal matchup. Jupiter tried to do one thing, had a moment, but feels like it was maybe already a done deal here with Mother Witch in this matchup. And this was the idea, right? Playing that Skarmy when the Mother Witch was out of cycle, and it looked like this could turn into something. But this is the end here as the Mother Witch takes a Skarmy. This time, no avoid, and it had to play the Skarmy on defense. Mother Witch goes, hey, that's a lot of piggies I get to make. Throw down some Elite Barbarians behind it, and that's going to be unstoppable there at the end for JupiterKing. So Germany does take the lead in this match with the one-set advantage, the win in game in our first set. And there was that moment, too, where you thought maybe the Dart Goblin high with the Knight tanking for it might take off the Mother Witch, but then a really nice bandit out of Schwarzen didn't just kill that Dart Goblin, also turned it into a pig in tandem with that Mother Witch. And that was it. That was it here in our first set. GG, well played. I see some people in the Twitch chat asking, is the final after this match? The final is later today. I will not be casting the final, as I am going to be busy. Previous engagement, I knew coming to this one that I was able to cast whatever the early morning match was, if it was the final. If South Korea had made it, I would have been casting the final, because the final would be right now. But instead, South Korea fell into the third place match, so here I am casting this one. Will not be here on the later one, unfortunately, but you get me for a little while. And here we are. Hi, everybody. Whoa, I am weird in that frame. Let me go ahead and adjust myself, maybe sit up a little bit, right? Let me loosen my shoulders up. Should I touch up my hair? How the shade's looking. All right, let's go ahead and jump into game number 2, or set number 2 on here. Our 1v1 set. Classic 1v1, no bans. Just come out here and play 3 games of Clash Royale at most. Whoever wins 2 first wins the set. So here we go. Allow me a drink of my coffee, please. And Sandbox goes ahead and lavas up. Not quite first play, but, you know, maybe because lava was his 5th card. And ReicherT going to go ahead and play the Lava Hound early. Fireball, I mean, not Lava, Mother Witch. What is that snowball? Was it just a cycle snowball? Because why not? Because he had it inside. That's such an interesting snowball there. Night Witch now down on the Lava Hound. Inferno Dragon behind. Not going to be as helpful. Fireball comes in. Well played Fireball here. Guess that was just, hey, I'm at 10. Might as well put a snowball on tower for damage. Not entirely sure. Baby Dragon looking like uncontested to the right-hand side, and yeah, Sandbox will just go ahead and eat it. Lava's up one more time, does Sandbox. Sandbox coming off of a phenomenal performance in CRL in our monthly final. Falling to Ta, and really falling to Ta as many other did due to a cavalcade, a bevy, a cornucopia, if you will, of horrific matchups. Graveyard in left-hand side, Brawler working. That's going to be an absolutely shredded tower. Zap comes in, but Zap's not going to be enough here. That's going to be a ton of damage. Not all the way tower down, but not a tower trade either. And that Inferno Dragon stays alive with the minor tanking. Unbelievable. That is absolutely massive. Lava Hound sets up right-hand side, Night Witch in response. So Double Witch Graveyard here. What an interesting combination. Obviously, MK Graveyard been around for a minute. And E-Barbs, the split lane to control this Mega Knight. And with the Inferno Dragon, we'll do that job fine. Baby Dragon cleaning up those bats here. And now down to 278, final 10 seconds. Sandbox wisely sets up defensively in the left-hand lane, but does have to control that Mega Knight. Does get the E-Barbs down. Needs to get that thing burned off before the Graveyard kicks in. And look at that. Guards come down at the end. What an interesting choice here. Lava Miner. Been around for a while. Lava Miner with guards as opposed to E-Barbs. Maybe an older variant. But this particular deck with Elite Barbarians and guards in. And look at that. Goes to the opposite direction. Looked like it was going to be right-hand tower, and a pile comes in. The Germans spread a little bit too thin here. Sandbox takes the win in game number 1. What an interesting variation of Lava Miner. You know, typically you only see one card on the ground for that true level of control, either the Barbarians or the Guards here. Going with the Elite Barbarians and the Guards collectively ended up being a master stroke for the South Korean. Look at this, drops the Guards down low to finish off that defense on the Graveyard. And not to say that that Graveyard would have taken it, but certainly had a good chance of putting some more significant damage on there. Fireball goes into the right-hand side, but look at all this on the left. Nice zap, Inferno Dragon connects. Burn, 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 baby, burn. GG, well played. Nice work. Sandbox continues to be impressive here in the month of April. Like I said before, losing in second place in the CRL Monthly Final after a horrific collection of matchups. I don't know who Taw's analyst was, but that guy deserves maybe half the money. And I'm sure that Sandbox is chomping at the bit to get back in there again next month. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're on Twitch, make sure you go ahead and follow for stuff like this and other really fun Clash Royale content, including other competitions, BO5s, and of course, my shorts that do break down some useful techniques inside the Clash Royale arena. And this is interesting from Sandbox. The Furnace, is this going to be that spawner deck? Furnace, fascinating. High Mortar here, so ReicherT going with the same deck that we saw out of Schwarzen a minute ago. You don't really see Furnace much these days at all, except for in one spawner deck that made it on CWA's channel. I don't know who's casting the finals, guys. You can go look it up on the No Tilt Twitter page. Go to my Twitter, and then you can find notilt.gg from there. And there you have it. Mortar set up to the left-hand side, so this is that spawner deck. I believe this is the same one that was on CWA a couple weeks ago. I could be wrong. Last weekend, decks featured on CWA, I believe, went 2 or 3-0 in CRL competition. Fedipera, thank you very much for your love over there on the Twitch side. Do appreciate that. Zappies go to the inside here, don't pick up the miner. And ReicherT already out to a pretty significant lead here as the first 2 minutes of gameplay passes. Shashwat Raturi saying CWA is running this meta. Yeah, he is completely running it. The meta has been straight up whatever deck was most recently on CWA the last couple of weeks. It's been kind of crazy. Final will be a few hours from now, later today, not on my channel. Again, go to @notiltgg on Twitter, and you can have all the information there. Also, you can follow Esports Royale EN on Twitter for all your Clash Royale esports news. Of course, also, the pop-up for that grand final will be in your Clash Royale app, just like this one was if you did come here from inside the Clash Royale app. A lot of damage in on Sandbox's left-hand side, but nothing for the miner, and the miner's been an absolute menace. And this is what you get running a spawner deck, as it gets a little bit harder to catch those miners. And there you go, GG, well played. Tied up 1-1 so far. Alan Anon asking, hey Rich, what did I miss? Well, look at the left side of your screen, because that shows you the results thus far. Taking a look at the matchup. Remember, this is not duel mode. This is just whatever the heck. This is straight up 1v1, no bans. Play whatever decks you want over a best of 3, and here we go. Sandbox going with an interesting variation of Lava Miner in game number 1, and then game number 2 with this spawner evil? Don't know what to say about it. That was I don't like pure spawner decks. I don't like them. I gotta kind of root against Sandbox on that one. So good thing that ReicherT took that for that one, in my opinion. Hey, Lewis Wittenstein says, did I watch the UFC? I watched bits and pieces last night. Apparently it was the greatest pay-per-view ever, and I didn't get to sit and watch the whole thing. Was preparing for an event I have later today, but I got to find some fun stuff. Miner in on the right-hand tower, and looks like right back to that same lava deck for the South Korean. First fish boy of the day here out of ReicherT. And Sandbox just lavas up early, immediate E-Barb's opposite lane. And the Elite Barbarian's not available. Sandbox, we know that's what he has, but can't do anything about it. Not enough elixir for it, so well played there by ReicherT to punish the aggressive Lava Hound play. Maybe this deck was picked partially for that ability. Ooh, what a miner. What a miner. It doesn't quite pull that Mega Minion away, but what an idea. And look at this. The E-Barb's going to shred that left-hand tower. Tons of damage on the right-hand side. The Pup's not quite doing enough tankage. That was such a fascinating play. Go ahead and clip that. That miner trying to pull the Mega Minion, I believe is what it was going for. Maybe, oh, trying to get onto that Fisherman. Man. And lava's both directions. That miner trying to pull the Fisherman and keep it off of the E-Barbs, and nearly pulls the Mega Minion out of the way of the Inferno Dragon. And that Fish Boy will go pull the miner off. So, ooh, what a zap here. Does the miner finish the job? Not quite. 68 HP, but shouldn't be a problem here. That's going to be towered down on the left-hand side eventually. 43 seconds left. And what looked like an unwinnable game for Sandbox has turned into an absolute gem. An absolute gem here. Miner will go ahead and take down that left-hand side. And ReicherT not forcing the Fireball out on that side. I believe this deck was Fireball from Sandbox. Cycles E-Barbs in the back, and just like that, we go into sudden death overtime with the lead here for Tribe Gaming's newest recruit. That zap resets long enough to take that Lava Hound down. Fireball in. Doesn't get the Mega Minion here. And that could end up being a challenge, as that Lava Hound now creating a downhill push. Not getting that Mega Minion, at least in some trouble there. Going to allow Sandbox, or allow ReicherT the opportunity to penetrate deep. And the E-Barbs in the pocket. Guards do come down in response. Miner out trying to tank for the E-Barbs. What a zap here. Wow, the back and forth is crazy. E-Barb's on the tower right now, trying to hold them off. Will that E-Barb get one more shot? We'll get two more shots. And ReicherT takes it. What a finish. What a finish. What a finish. Unbelievable. So far, that is game of the day, folks, and it's going to take an absolute gem to unseat that one. What a performance on both sides here. And check out this move. That miner, the play on the back end there, too, to hold the miner in place. Great play there by Sandbox, and it felt like this play was enough to take the game back here for the South Korean. It really did. But right here, it's the E-Barbs in the pocket. And it all started with a Fireball maybe not doing quite enough there for Sandbox on the opposite side. And kind of just like we saw earlier in the game, where Sandbox didn't have enough elixir to deal with the E-Barbs, lost that left-hand tower. Again, didn't have enough to deal with that E-Barbs significantly or well enough, and it was ReicherT who went and supported those elite barbarians with a nice miner zap combination. GG, well played. And now Germany is one King of the Hill set away from sending what people thought was a shoe-in for first place into fourth to finish this competition. What a crazy back-and-forth game. Opens up with ReicherT clearly being way in the lead, shredding that tower. Sandbox pulls off an unbelievable comeback, takes control, and then ReicherT just pulls the rug out from under him at the very last second. What a game. What a set. And man, that's why I love Clash Royale. If you guys enjoyed that at all, right? Did you like that? I liked that. If you like that, don't forget to hit subscribe. It's in the chat right there. I just put it in the YouTube chat. If you're on Twitch, hit a follow, and make sure you come back for this stuff more. But, of course, the YouTube page is where all the fun stuff is here for Clash Royale. The best place, the most fun place for Clash Royale esports. And of course, you know, it wouldn't hurt if you throw a little code RICH. Oh, I don't have, oh, they're not lined up. Oh, they're not properly lined up. Let's go ahead and take a look at our South Korea versus Germany King of the Hill lineups. What a great lineup here for South Korea. 3 veterans, Geralt, Line, and Expo Master. On the other side of things, for Germany, going to be Wolfstochter, Faust, and Morten. First up, Wolf. Up against Line, the no-tilt world champion. In Line. What a grueling competition that was. And, of course, now each month is almost like a no-tilt world championship. Hog Rider, Electro Dragon, Ice Wiz for Line up against what appears to be a relatively filthy version of Sparky with Mother Witch, but the Electro Dragon going to stop that from doing much of anything. Hog Rider down, second one in already for Line, who opened up aggressive. And a ton of damage here. Man, a Hog Rider with Electro Dragon behind it. That is no joke. And does it reset for the Barbarian? It does. Tower down. Well, that's got to be game number 1 here, unless Line makes an unbelievably crazy mistake. That Barb Barrel in on the right-hand side got in just in time for the Electro Dragon to go ahead and reset it. And someone in the YouTube chat saying Elsiop deck. This is Elsiop's deck, this Hog Electro Dragon Ice Wiz control. Goblin Giant Sparky with just about everything here. And this is a brutal matchup in favor of Line. Perfectly timed Barb Barrel there. And yeah, let's call it. Let's call it now, folks. Line pitching an absolute shutout here in game number 1. Phenomenal matchup, of course, having both Electro Spear and Electro Dragon. Barb Barrel for those heal spirits. Ice Wiz down on defense. Going to go ahead and fireball all of that. Wolf tries to rage it up. Not going to do a whole lot here. Barb Barrel cleans up the rest of that here. And this is just an absolute fatality, if you will. Finish him. With Mortal Kombat coming out this week. Someone saying LCAB uses against Javi, but a little bit modified. And there we go. GG. Game number 1 in the books. So while South Korea in trouble, South Korea not out yet. Crazier things have happened than a 3-set reverse sweep, and it starts with 1 game. Line taking it. Line, of course, is on our way up on our leaderboards for CRL in this 2021 season. And this was it. This is the whole game right here. You want to know where the game began and ended? In this moment. Electro Dragon, NATO, Electro Spirit, bye-bye Mother Witch, bye-bye Sparky. Here comes the Hog Rider. And if this Hog Electro Dragon, look at this, the Electro Dragon going to go ahead with the Fireball's help, absolutely shred all of that, and this Barb Barrel just gets in as close as you can. That's not even a 1 HP. That's a 0 HP. That's a less than 1 HP Electro Dragon. That dragon has half a hit point. And the Barbarian Barrel gets in just in time for that reset. What a great one. So I guess this is similar to a hog to an older Hog deck. Of course, obviously, Electro Spirit not in that long ago. What a brutal, brutal matchup. Absolutely rough, which is, again, why I like dual mode the best. And, of course, bans are always awesome. But a King of the Hill no ban, there you go. Rough one there for the German. But South Korea now back in it. You can see Wolfstochter down. I believe Faust is going to be next up for Germany. Line still on the board because King of the Hill means you stay king as long as you stay winning. Used to have Ice Spirit and Tombstone. Good to know. So here we go. Game number 2. Faust up next. Faust is one of those names out of Germany that at one point seemed like the brightest star out of the German rookies. It was Schwarzen, Wolfstochter, and Faust were the young players out of Germany, and it felt like Faust had the highest ceiling, had the biggest rising star, and then kind of maybe foot came off the gas, not entirely sure what happened, and Schwarzen became the overtook everyone with a really hard work ethic, obviously. But Faust was great with, I believe the team was called Existence in the Clash Contender series back in 2019. Big semi-pro competition. Hog Rider goes to the left-hand side, right another Elite Barbarians, and that's going to be bye-bye. And this is, man, take Bridge Spam, add in 2 broken cards, and here's what you get. And Line now sort of running it back, but instead going with what appears to be the more classic variation of this Hog deck. And Hog goes for a number of big shots, takes the lead back here for Line. 1142 to 1364. And just another slow Magic Archer to the right-hand side. Bridge Spam has taken all of its variants for a long time. Pekka Bridge Spam has not been popular as of late. Of course, the Pekka Bridge Spam with Magic Archer variation was very big for a long time. It's the one that won the semifinals at CRL World Championships 2019 in that famous matchup between Surgical Goblin and Morten. Then in 2020, Pekka Bridge Spam just kind of died. And of course, not Pekka Bridge Spam here, but you take out Pekka, you put in the Elite Barbarians. You throw in the Mother Witch in favor of what I believe would have been an E-Wizard there. Heal Spirit in for the zap. Here you go. Plenty of room to get this left-hand tower down here. Elite Barbarians, I don't know if they'll be enough. They are. Hog tries to predict and... Or no, the Hog was working... not the Hog. The Log's working on defense there. And Line has to put something on that tower. Not going to have it. GG. We're all tied up here 1-1. Line goes and takes a seat. Faust with a very solid win here over what you could say is the top player out of South Korea, and you could also say is maybe the #1 player or one of the top players in the world right now in CRL 2021 in Line, currently 3rd on the CRL list behind, 2 other guys in the same competition, Morten and Mohammed Light. So no secret as to why Germany, Egypt, and South Korea are all where they are in this tournament right now. The top 3 players in 2021 on those 3 squads. Kaiser Soze asking in the Twitch chat, is the final straight after this? The final is at, I think, noon my time, which is in a few hours from now. So we should be done with this probably, I mean, who knows, either in the next 10 minutes or in the next 45 or so. But then, no, it's going to be in a couple hours here for the final. 2Cloud2 saying best counter for E-Barbs and Lines deck is the Tombstone that you see here, but of course the Mother Witch makes Tombstone absolutely brutal. Yep, absolutely. So here we go. 1 player down on each side. Geralt up next, I believe, for South Korea, up against Faust. Geralt certainly has had a solid career himself as a Clash Royale competitor, playing multiple seasons in CRL. By multiple, I mean 2. The spring and fall of 2020, both with Talon Esports. And double bait it is for Faust. The finals will be later today, will be Egypt against France. Egypt kind of blowing up Germany, and France with a big come-from-behind victory over South Korea. So here we are, dual mode going to be our next set if necessary. And I'll explain more about dual mode for those of you asking about it in the chat later. Right now we are in King of the Hill game number 3. No bans here. And what is it that South Korea likes about this deck? Back to the same, at least archetype. So 3 Hog Ice Wiz NATO decks in a row for South Korea. What an interesting choice. And then this double bait deck with Skarmy. Saw this a little bit during last month's CRL Championship. Interesting to see Skarmy being popular in a Mother Witch meta, but is what it is. And Log does read that well, but the Princess does connect. Hog behind the Ice Wiz on the right-hand side. Inferno Tower in. Geralt's going to be happy to take that trade a number of times early as long as it doesn't give up too much damage. Go ahead and keep forcing that exchange. Gain 1 elixir every single time. If he can, he'll want to be able to get the Tombstone for that Skeleton Barrel. We'll see if that's what he has here. Yep, there you go. Tombstone for the Skeleton Barrel. Save the Log, of course, for those Goblins. And you see the Goblins going to the outside here, trying to avoid any King Tower activations, which would be pretty significant in the opposite direction. Here we go. Hog one more time. Inferno Tower does go to the Hog, though, and not to the Ice Wizard. So Geralt still not able to break through in any significant way here yet, but does have an Ice Wizard on the board. Tombstone down. An immediate Tombstone down into that lane, inviting and going for the NATO, not going to get the King Tower activation. Oh boy. Oh boy, Geralt in a whole lot of trouble. Princess should connect on tower here, and she does. Inferno Tower, no, not even needing it. Going to go ahead and Skarmy a Hog like it's 2K on ladder. Unbelievable. Geralt got completely twisted around. His whole cycle got ruined, and now he'll go ahead and get the King Tower activation. But will it be enough at this stage?
Let's go.
Faust putting that pressure on the left-hand side. That's a big value Log. Now giving Dart Goblin and Princess up to that Log. Skarmy in response to the Hog Rider. But we are much closer than really we should be. Princess on defense here. Gonna have to be the Inferno Tower. Nope, Skarmy does come in and does stop the Logs. It does Geralt, but can't get there anyway. 2 Princesses down, 1 for Fireball Bait. Final 40 seconds here, and Geralt might take this one. Completely out of cycle now is Faust. Second Princess down, and with 30 seconds left, double Fireball value here, and Geralt has recovered tremendously. Final 15. Needs to get something on tower, does Faust. Can't do it. Can't get it done. What a come-from-behind win here for Geralt. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. It looked like that one big mistake was going to cost him the game. Instead, able to battle back. GG, well played. Looking at this replay here, And this was, I think, the big log value. Yep, there's the huge log value against the Dark Goblin and the Princess. And this should be the busted NATO. Nope, never mind. This is not, this is behind that. This is after that. Yep, it's because of 1370. There you go. Man. This has been a third-place match, not short of drama, I'll tell you that much. And South Korea might one-trick their way through King of the Hill. We'll see if they can. Notice that Faust's deck, no direct damage spells, so not quite the little Chen deck, but similar idea in that no way to create direct damage. You have to get on tower, and that was the challenge there for Germany's rookie, and now they're down to their last man in King of the Hill. Does have the 2-set advantage, does Germany, but if they want to end it now, it has to be Morten taking out both Geralt and Expo Master. More than capable of doing so. You would definitely say that he's the favorite in these matchups here, but we'll see. So here we go. Do we end up heading to a 4th set, another dual mode set, or do we come back and end things right here on the back of Morten? Good shot here for the longtime German pro, who also, if I remember correctly, is currently #1 in CRL. Oh yeah, that's right. Let's go ahead and jump in to our King of the Hill game. Morten right now 355 in his CRL points for 2021, ahead of Mohammed Light, who's #2 at 335, and Line at #3 with 320. So Geralt maybe doing the same thing here, maybe going back to the Electro Dragon variation that we saw in the first one. And some minor pressure from Morten. We'll see if this is wall breakers here. Elite Barbarians down. So interesting, looking like they're just going Graveyard. And kind of a classic variation of Graveyard for Geralt. First minute away, no significant damage either direction, 2401 to 2462. Morten's one of the few players who is still wearing the same jersey he wore in the fall, in the first season of CRL. Began his career with SK and will most likely end his career with SK. One of the few players you won't see changing colors as time goes on. 2018 squad, SK Gaming, came very close in Europe, getting swept in the finals by Queso, who at the time was absolutely dominant. They completely destroyed that season. SK Gaming at that point, very different squad around Morten with Matt 01, Low-Eye, Flobby was still in competition, not in content creation at the time. And SK Gaming and their coach KV all saw something special in Morten. We all did that season, and of course they went to build a team around him. So still wearing SK and still competing. Now here so many years later. Here we go, double elixir time. EQ cycles on the right-hand side. Elite Barbarians with the Ice Spirit behind. This is dual mode, so if you're saying, hey, why is there an Ice Spirit? Remember, it is dual mode, so you cannot repeat cards. It's a big reason maybe why you would be seeing an Ice Spirit here, and Morten knowing this is probably a brutal matchup situation. Playing against RG Cycle, or playing against RG here with a Tesla and Earthquake, and Elite Barbarians being a real nasty target for those support troops as well. This is a rough one. It's still King of the Hill. It is still King of the Hill, guys, that's right. My brain is broken for a second. Thank you, Latak. Well, then I don't know what's going on. Sakina Fuzzby with the $10 Australian. So glad I didn't go to bed yet. Me too there, Sakina. Thank you so much for your support as always. Fireball in here, logging on the right-hand side. E-barbs in, trying to hold it high. And just nothing to do about that bomb tower. Miner goes into the back. This is just brutal. This is just absolutely brutal. Why does Morten always get bad matchups? Asked 2Cloud2 in the YouTube chat. I'm not entirely sure. One theory is that it's because he always does his own deck picking and doesn't work with a team for analysis. That was some insight we got from OP Sam the other day. Fireball in here. Can Morten make enough room? And the EQ cycle in here for Geralt. And that's going to be a GG. Final minute. This would be impossible here. Elite Barbarians. Morten trying to make something of it. But that's going to be it. EQ will come down here. One more card. There you go. And there you have it. South Korea wins King of the Hill. Man, Morten gets the worst matchups. And this is where you saw the end come. He deals with one Royal Giant, and what's right behind that? Oh yeah, another Royal Giant. Because you have to spend so much on that first one. And that's just Shred City. Tower gets absolutely decimated there. And this was a tough one, right? The Tesla for the Earthquake was one big problem, and the other side of it, those E-barbs just get splashed up like crazy. And South Korea does finally take a set. Brutal one there, but we will be back with... Now we're going to be going into the dual mode match. And we'll have Morten right back out again. Georgie saying we want to see JupiterKing versus Morten. Well, maybe it'll happen. We'll see. But for now, what we just saw was, man, some pretty brutal matchup situations here for Morten. Yeah. Guys, if you're enjoying this at all, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you're not enjoying this, also subscribe to my channel. If you're here accidentally, subscribe to my channel. Basically, have we seen the theme yet? Let me go ahead and move myself up in the frame a little bit. There we go. Have we seen the theme yet? Subscribe to my channel. Link is right there in the chat. It's also in the description below. Make sure you come back. Of course, like I said before, some really fun little guides I'm doing lately for YouTube Shorts. If you want quick 60-second breakdowns on some valuable Clash Royale tips and techniques, those are in there as well. So go ahead, hit that sub button. Don't forget to do it. And you know what? I really did mean to. Let me see if I can go ahead and change the size of this logo down to the proper size here. Let's see if this is going to be the same size when I do this. Code Rich, does it work? No, it's not quite lined up. I'll line that up right now. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's just about lined up. Boom. Use code RICH up there in the corner in the Supercell shop. Rich, what planet are we gone to? I don't know. What planet are you on, Trasher? Oh, yes. Also, don't forget to like the video, too. For sure. I don't know why Morten is playing that deck. Who knows? Let's go ahead and jump into our dual mode battle. So dual mode, it's just like the one you see in Clan Wars 2. No cards can repeat. So since we've seen Expo Master play Mother Witch here in game number 1, no more Mother Witch for Expo Master for the remainder of this set. What a classic matchup here. Morten versus Expo Master. And Morten knows he's probably in trouble here. Where can you buy those sunglasses? There's a link in the chat right now. They're gooders. There's the link for you to go ahead and grab some. And this is what Morten was gurring about. I don't understand this choice from Morten. Why are you running this deck in game number 1 when you haven't seen Mother Witch yet? This is a deck that I would just basically sit on until Mother Witch is gone. Trying to get in the minor bat cycle when Mother Witch is out of cycle, but there's the E-Wiz. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. So just the two broken cards together here for Expo Master. He'll Spirit behind one Elite Barbarian, takes out the bats. And look at this elixir advantage right now for Expo Master. Gets some piggy damage, some snout work on that left-hand side. Elite Barbarian's in. And the big old Mega Knight. This might be winnable here for Morten, and he does have a King Tower activation available. He might go ahead and get it here. Yep, there you go. Nice King Tower activation. Should come in. No, it dies before. Too much DPS on the Mega Knight. Too much DPS on the Mega Knight. It felt like the Fireball would make it get down there fast enough. Pulls the Mega Knight to King Tower, but still controlled the Mega Knight. Wasn't a total bad move, but man, you really want that MK to activate that King Tower. Not huge in this matchup, but against those Mother Witch pigs, those King Tower shots could be very helpful. Stacking Teslas now is Morten. Expo Master setting up with his Mother Witch. E-Barb split. Here we go, sudden death overtime. Miner trying to take advantage of those bats. Fishboy will pull. Mega Knight comes in high. Mega Knight's going to leap back, meaning bats on the tower. That's going to be a lot of damage from those bats here. And just like that, Morten takes a big lead with 15 seconds into our sudden death period. Double Tesla stacked for the German. E-Wiz behind the Mega Knight with Fisherman and Elite Barbarian to the right, but that's going to be a whole lot in the center to control here. Miner for the Elite Barbarians, bats as well. And Morten doing a good job playing around the Mother Witch. Of course, this is going to be a lot of bats going the opposite direction, but the Tesla to control on those piggies. But that's going to be nasty. And look at this, pressuring the opposite lane now. Expo Master going to ignore it, and rightfully so. No point in engaging with those spears. Sets up for a big push in the left-hand lane. Cloud2 saying he believes Morten has the matchup here. We'll see. This is a lot right here at the bridge. Mega Knight controlled well. Morten doing a great job with it. And now a Miner Spear Goblin's push to the right-hand side. Morten says, hey, if you're going to give me that damage, I'm going to go ahead and take the damage in both lanes here and put pressure either direction. This is a lot on the board right now for the German to deal with. Expo Master with a Mother Witch. Miner goes to Mother Witch here. Piggies down, trying to get their snouts onto those towers, and Mega Knight sets up to protect the Mother Witch. This is not dissimilar to the idea of protect a Musketeer, right? Protect that Mother Witch, keep her on the board here. Delivery does come out and take care of business. One Elite Barbarian trying to escape. E-Barb down on the left-hand side. Final 10 seconds here now. Mega Knight getting deep in enemy territory. One Piggy does get away. Fireball gets on tower, and just like that, is it going to get stolen here? Expo Master steals it in the final seconds. Wow. Morten was playing a great game there, but in the end, too much weight to deal with on the opposite side, and Expo Master takes the win in the final moments. What an overwhelming victory there by Expo Master at the end. Unbelievable. And I think that Expo Master had the matchup there and that Morten just played an amazing game. Some people in the chat saying they think that Morten had the matchup. I don't know. That one's hard to argue about. Playing a bait deck against Mother Witch, though, does feel like, as I see Sugar is saying in the YouTube chat, does feel like a difficult call there for the German. As the game progresses, Expo's advantage increases. I agree with that, too. Expo did have a win condition. We had Royal Hogs. All right, so this is dual mode. You will not be seeing Mother Witch again or E-Barbs out of our South Korean player. The German, no Miner, so Miner wall breakers will not be happening. Looking like it might be Piggies here from Morten. And it's going to be Electro Giant. Expo Master just goes Electro Giant to open. Isaac saying Morten lagged at the delivery. Maybe. And it's just too strong. It's just too strong, that Electro Giant, in my humble opinion, which is also correct. It's just too strong. All that down, and the Electro Giant still gets that much damage on tower. I don't think that's right, but it is what it is. Here we go, reaching the midway point of regulation. And right now, Expo Master way in the lead. Here's the problem with Electro Giant, right? Is that you don't have to do anything for it to be good. It's similar to Golem in that way, but... And there you go. Pressure opposite lane. King Tower activation comes in. Plenty of elixir here for Morten to deal with it. No Zappies and Cycle, says Itzig, as the problem for Morten in that last exchange. And there you go. Baby Dragon does connect. Morten has the lead, 1089 to 1377. Fly Machine gets picked up by the E-Giant. And here we go. Let's see if Expo Master NATOs this in, and he will. Piggy's pressure the opposite lane. Controlled for the moment, and that bomber is absolutely huge, but does not bomber to support that same lane. Brawler goes back into the same lane as the Ice Wiz. But solid control here from Morten to avoid any damage. 11-11 to 10-30. And Expo Master playing really aggressive with these Electro Giants, and of course the longer this goes, the more dangerous this gets. Not going to NATO this one. Oh, he does NATO this one. That's a little bit late, maybe, in my opinion, but does NATO that one. Electro Giant will not get on tower here. Now Flying Machine escaping from Morten. Piggy's into the left-hand lane just as the Ice Wiz comes out, has to come out on the Flying Machine. Bomber split with the Goblin Cage. Fireball takes it out. And now Morten back in the lead, 858 to 1063. Final 90 seconds here in sudden death. And here we go, Expo Master now setting up with the Electro Giant all the way in the back. Have been doing Electro Giant in front of Princess Tower the last couple exchanges. Obviously, not as much time to build up a big monster push behind that E-Giant when you go that high. Was in front of Ice Wizards, but not quite the same thing, you imagine. So here we go. Recruits high, Zappies high. Lightning not able to do much on this part of the matchup. But as we get the triple, the ability to cycle to another E-Giant in front of this, and he does. Boom. Here we go. Now the NATO should be the move when the next set of troops come in. Lightning comes down. Does he NATO it altogether? No, decides to go ahead and just stick with that fight. Now the NATO comes in just a little bit later here. 858 on the left-hand side, and look at that. Making a beeline for the tower right now is Morten. Fireball in to make some room. Piggy's get a little bit of work done on that left-hand side. 568 remaining as Recruits go to work on that right-hand tower. Final 30 seconds, 10:15 on the top right-hand tower for Morten, who's now trying to abuse these Flying Machines. No real response for the Flying Machines out of Expo Master, and that's going to be golden here for the German. Electro Giant getting pulled by the Goblin Cage. Zappy's down. So after one really, really bad exchange early on, so far Morten's been back in control. Remember, Lightning, though, could be an equalizer, but with those Recruits and the Zappies, not going to happen. This should be a GG. This should be a well-played, and we're going to game number 3 here, folks. Morten with a chance to clutch things up for Germany and close out a victory here, taking that number 3 spot. It's a best-of-1 between him and Expo Master. Of course, South Korea with the win would send this to a game number 5. Oh boy, that was a fun one. That was a fun one. So here we go, game number 3 on its way. Expo Master has gone with the Mother Witch. E-Barbs has now gone with the Electro Giant. What's he going to play next? Expo Ram Rider? And Morten controlled nicely there. As you can see from our stats view, powered by Stats Royale. If you want to know what your next chest is, go to statsroyale.com. They will surely tell you. Also, plenty of guides there. I believe a lot of CWA's videos are on Stats Royale as well. And Morten did a good job punishing with the pigs in the opposite lane, and once he got his cycle down correctly, was able to control those Electro Giants pretty well. That lightning just not going to do what you want against Royal Recruits and Zappies, right? Here we go. Game number 3. Morten with a chance to close things out and win 3rd place for Germany. And Expo Master plays Golem first play. Golem first play is the least skilled choice in all of Clash Royale, and I'll stand by it. First, the actual play itself is a no-skill play, right? It doesn't require any technical skill. You just put the Golem there behind the King Tower, but also requires no decision-making. Is Golem in my hand? When we start, cool, I will play it. And that's what Expo Master does here. It actually takes more skill to close the game than it does to play Golem first play. Because to close the game, you have to not only mechanically, you know, swipe up or whatever it is, whatever button your phone has, and close the game out, which is a much more complicated maneuver than putting the Golem behind your tower. But you also have to have the personal fortitude, the wherewithal, the willpower to actually close the game and move on to something else. Golem first play doesn't require any of that. Unbelievable. So we see E-Barb's Mother Witch, Electro Giant, and then Golem clone first play out of Expo Master today. I mean, you talk about predictable. I guess Expo Master playing clone, maybe, as he's been known to do so in big moments, including the CRL World Championship in 2018. You hate to see it, though. Hog Rider in on the left-hand side. Hog will take this tower, but not going to do anything more than that. So now what can Morten do here? Does have Snowball, does have Archers. Probably EQ as that last card. Sets up one Inferno Tower inside. Gonna try to cycle back around to another Inferno Tower in the middle. Can he stop this? Snowball. Skeletons. What do you do here? And Morten going to go ahead and just let this one go, because what do you do here? Anyone saying that what we just saw was took a whole lot of skill here, I'm going to go ahead and just say that you're wrong. Just Golem first play shouldn't physically be possible in the game. It shouldn't be even a potentially viable strategy. Instead, it's a coin flip that ends up being working out enough that players can push with it. It's just ugh. And I would call that a GG, but it's actually just a ugh-G. I don't even know. I don't really have strong commentary on this. Clone's not even the problem here. The problem is Golem being viable as a first play game. There was a time when Golem first play was completely not viable. And I don't know what changed. I don't know if it was changing the game from 6 minutes to 5 minutes and having triple elixir made it so that Golem first play was more viable. I don't know if it was always viable and people just caught up to it eventually. But there was a time when playing Golem first play was an unthinkable thing to do. It was laughable to do in competitive Clash Royale. And now it's become something that you see at this level. So there you go. And there you go. Boom. That one's the first warning. Second one is the banhammer. People saying Morten fans can't handle it when you lose. I don't mind. Hey, Morten, I've called more Morten losses than literally anybody except for maybe Andrew Guy, and because I play so much more, or says I cast a lot more than Andrew does these days. He's still a better player than I am. Because I cast so much, I've actually called... Yeah, I'm going to put slow mode on here. Absolutely right. Thank you, Sandy. I've cast more losses for Morten than anybody, actually. And, you know, Morten loses sometimes. Golem first play just is trash. And anybody in the chat who is saying anything otherwise is simply a wrong human being who probably plays Golem first play. I'm pretty sure people who play Golem first play would probably kick their grandma to win a game of Clash Royale. That's just what I'm saying. That's the level I think that Golem first play equates overall. Expo Master, big longtime fan of his. Think he's a fun guy. But man, that was that selection of 3 decks was oof. And then to cap it off with oof. There you go. Not a fan of it. And I'm looking at the chat now. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and slow this chat down even more now that I'm seeing how nasty YouTube is right now. We're going to... Guys, you brought this on yourselves. I'm taking the YouTube chat down to 30 seconds now because you guys are such animals. Then you play Golem first play and get top ladder. Yeah, Golem first play. That's the thing, is Golem first play can push ladder now because it's all just about how much actual volume you get. You know what? This guy's been a troll all day. You know what? Now that we're getting down to our last set, now it's just time to have fun and ban people I don't like. Guys, here we go. Set number 5 on its way. And, man, is Germany going to get reverse swept? Morten got reverse swept along with SK Gaming in CRL World Finals with against Team Queso. And here they are again in a situation where they were up too easily. And there you go. Man, I see so many people in the YouTube chat who are being who are so totally triggered by me not liking Golem first play. Well, you know, don't do it then. Latak in the Twitch chat saying, rich people can Golem first play. The thing is that if they play for a certain amount of hours, it's impossible not to get to the top. Yeah, because you Golem first play, you're going to win so much of those matchups just based off of bad cycle. And then you'll just win the other ones at a regular rate. The True Beast saying Rich is biased towards Morten. Yeah, probably a little bit. Like him a lot. I also like Expo Master. If Expo Master hadn't done Golem first play, I probably would have been a little less biased in that one. But Expo Master literally did the thing that I think should be removed from the game the most. What do I think needs to be done to make Golem first play not viable? Not sure. Yeet the Golem, but you want to keep the Golem in the game overall. Here we go. Final set of the day. Best of 3. No duel mode, no bans, just 3 decks. Schwarzen versus Sandbox. Fireball in on the Mother Witch. Pretty easy choice there for Schwarzen. Gonna take that whenever he can. What about Hog Rider first play? Doesn't have the same impact. Oh, I think Lava first play is also bad. El Tonko over in the YouTube chat. I think Lava first play is also yuck. I commented on it earlier. At least it's 7 elixir versus 8. Crazy. Here we go. Mother Witch making a pile of pigs on that left-hand side. So GY here for Sandbox. Slow it down even more? Sure, I'll take it down even further. Boom, there we go. Arrows into the left-hand side. Sandbox absolutely shredding this tower, and that's a GG already. My word, is Germany going to get reverse swept here? Danny Tran saying, Rich, everyone here has like 4,500 trophies. Yeah, you might be right. That might be what I'm forgetting here. There we go. Rich, also know that when you say stuff like 50% people get triggered. I saw a joke you made, like sarcasm, that triggered chat. So it's meant to just turn chat off. Sakina Fuzby coming in with the $10 Australian dono. Thank you very much. And that was just brutal. That was just brutal. Oh, South Korea, who many people thought should be the #1, should be the overall winner, doing what people expected, coming back here, and now 1 win away from securing 3rd place. Let's make it 1 minute for the slow mode. Yeah, right? We should. I'll make it 5 minutes. Bhav Gupta saying cards with more than 6 elixir should not be in the opening hand. Becomes a really interesting question, right? On where you draw that line. Like what should and shouldn't be an opening hand. And I don't know if controlling an opening hand like that is the solution. But things like what we saw in game number 3 definitely make the game more of a coin flip and less of a skill competition. Here we go. Game number 2, Sandbox and Schwarzen. Sandbox playing very, very well this month. And looks like he's going right back to MK here. Remember, this is not duel mode. There are no bans. This is just play some Clash Royale. And Schwarzen going with this Mortar Miner control deck again. Control has not been phenomenal for Germany today. Of course, I believe it was Faust who won with this deck earlier. So MK double witch. Sandbox will be the 3rd time running this one today. Going to get some decent damage there with the snowball to create a little bit more room. And Mortar down. How does Sandbox control here? Goes Mega Knight in the pocket. Or in the hole, actually, if it's on your side. Final 90 seconds of regulation time. And it's Balloon this time instead of the GY. So a bit of a switch here out of Sandbox. If he can find a way past that Mortar and Muskie. Donkavision over in the Twitch chat saying reskin the Giant to Shaq. I like it. I like it. Mother Witch does not get to that one little skeleton. Delivery high takes care of that. Final 40 seconds. Mega Knight down. Miner goes to the back in the opposite direction. Schwarzen going to take the lead here with a couple of big shots. Mega Knight deep in enemy territory, but not going to do enough to really put damage on tower. Miner goes into the back. Night Witch playing some defense, doesn't get the pickup here, and now Mortar sets up low defensively. Does take a couple splaps here from that fish. Snowball, Fireball in on the Musketeer. Balloon not going to get damaged, not going to get all the way to tower, doesn't get there at all. Yeah, Bhav Gupta, I already answered that in the YouTube chat. You need to keep on putting it. Muskie goes left-hand lane, final minute 45. About 270 separating 271, specifically separating these two players at the moment. Musketeer not going to be in cycle. We're going to have to cycle back to it. Will Schwarzen here on defense. Does get back to it now. Fireball in, and that's actually as good a plan as any right now for Sandbox. Not even worried about Balloon actually getting on tower right now. The Balloon is designed, look at the way he's playing Balloon right now, is after he gets the first Musketeer off, forcing that Musketeer to play low and then get the Fireball damage and value on both Musketeer and Princess Tower. If he does slide one through, good for him. And first Musketeer is controlled. Fireball in. Miner to go all the way on a tower here for Schwarzen. And a good control there. Balloon picked up by that by that Mortar, but look at that, the Bat's on tower. Mega Knight getting deep in enemy territory here. Final 40 seconds, Triple Elixir on its way. Fireball, Snowball. The Mortar does pull the Balloon, and the Mortar does not get on tower, though. Goes to Fisherman. Mega Minion swiping there for Schwarzen. Balloon going right to the tower. That's going to be it. That's going to be it. Oh, my word. South Korea completes the reverse sweep. Germany up to set. South Korea says, no, we are not letting this happen. This was meant to be our championship, and we're going to take that third place spot. Wins King of the Hill, wins duel mode, wins the 1v1, and once again, reverse sweep against a Morten-led team. South Korea is your third place team at the No Tilt Worlds. Absolute wow. What a performance for South Korea. Still not super stoked about that game 3 in the 4th set here. But man. Sandbox played that really, really smart there when he started recognizing that for a moment at least, that balloon wasn't going to get on tower, but it was really just designed to set up fireball cycle opportunities on that Princess Tower. And as you can see, there you have it. South Korea in 3rd place, Germany in 4th. South Korea had the harder road here. Was in the same group as China. Had to beat Spain, had to beat Japan. Had a really rough road here. Germany, as you can see, getting past the Netherlands, getting past Italy, losing to Egypt. What a great performance by South Korea. And someone saying, how sad am I now? I'm not sad. I mean, always happy for Morten when he wins, but South Korea had a phenomenal team and made a great comeback. Just really didn't like Golem first play. And I'll rail against it until something changes. But it's a great performance for South Korea. Germany had the matchup advantage in some of the early rounds. South Korea with some nasty replies there in the last couple. But it all came down to that King of the Hill. That King of the Hill could have gone either way. Instead, went for South Korea. And that's it for the day, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back on a different channel later today with the championship. That's it for the No-Tilt Worlds today. For the third place match, I'm Rich Slayton. See you back here next time.